you're even remotely interested in cryptic crosswords, and why else would you be watching this series? Then you've heard about anagrams. They're the very first kind of cryptic clue that was ever published. They're the first ones that you hear about, and they're probably the most straightforward to explain. All you have to do is rearrange the given letters to form a new word. What's so hard about that, you're probably thinking? Children can do the word jumble on the McDonald's playmat. I know how to move letters around. Why do I need to watch a YouTube video to explain it to me? And why does it take so long? In fact, fuck this, I'm gonna go watch some car crash compilations. Well, if you give me a minute, what I'm going to do in this video is explain how to identify that a clue is an anagram clue. Plus, I'm going to show you some methods for solving anagrams, and we're going to talk about some general crossword logic. So, settle down. The first steps apply as always. You want to separate the wordplay from the definition. And that can be a little easier with anagrams because just like homophones, they are always telegraphed with signposts. Once you identify the signpost, spotting the anagram fodder can be easy because it will have the same amount of letters as the answer. So how do you identify an anagram signpost, which are often referred to as anagrinds? Well, that's where it gets a little trickier because what words can be an anagrind? Most words. See, it's any word that suggests change and any form of that word. So it could be movement, or moving, or move, or moved, translation, transformation, transition, or translate, transform, transit, any verb that means to shift, to change, to turn, to twist, to tangle, to jumble, any adjective that implies breakage, worn, torn, shattered, scattered, smashed, wayward, any noun that denotes a point of difference, alteration, amendment, breakage, damage, mess, anything that denotes violence, injure, torture, maim, dismember, slay, murder, kill, any adverb that enhances them, roughly, shockingly, drunkenly, horribly, anything related to cooking, mix, blend, whisk, stir, salad, cocktail, sausage, omelette. Also, the opposite of all those things. So instead of breaking the words down, you're reassembling them. So it's fixed, repairing, made new, remodeled, healed, neatly, tidily, washed, rinsed, rebuilt, rebirthed, risen from the ashes like a majestic phoenix. Almost any preposition as well, because you can move something about, you can turn it in, you can turn it out, you can do it up, you can jumble it up, you can do it over. Any words, any part of speech, anything at all, anything. And just like homophones, the fun in choosing them comes from finding something apt that goes with the surface meaning of the clue. The word arc could come from car crash, in the same way that heartbreak becomes earth and earthquake becomes heart. You could get shattered dreams from Spanish mothers, broken promises from coal lobbyists, and collateral damage from bomb jokes. I've even seen Irish rarebit clued for the word arbiter. Irish. Like the coffee, I guess? Maybe it was something more racist. Who knows? Anyway, there are 3 straightforward anagrams in this grid, so let's start with the shortest one. Still crazy, singer's inflections. Now, as far as signposts go, crazy is a pretty obvious one. If crazy is the anagrind, then the 5 letters in the word still has to be the anagram fodder, leaving us a definition of singer's inflections. So now that we've got all that, all that's left to do is solve the anagram. Now, solving anagrams can be much easier than you think. You may or may not be aware of this phenomenon that allows you to read this sentence despite the jumbling. So if you start to see anagrams the same way, they can be pretty simple. There's a lot of different methods for doing it, but one of the first that I ever learned, and what I think is the most effective, is just to put the letters in a non-linear pattern. You can arrange them in a circle, put them on alternating lines, even just scatter them randomly around. Whatever it is, you just have to break them from the constraints of the words that are given. Of course, seeing them fly around in space can probably help you spot the anagram even easier. So if we throw the letters into the anagramulator, watch those letters dance around, you can see that still could become tills if the definition was prepare the soil. That'd be a clue and a shitter anagram. The only other option left is lilts, singer's inflections. It's good because still crazy singer's inflections, because he's saying still crazy. But if crazy is still, then you get singer's inflections. It's clever. It's clever. The next anagram is 4 down, ghetto in a scheme to industrialise. There's a nice surface meaning about city development. This one's a little trickier and a good way to demonstrate deliberate ambiguity. What's great about this one is that each part of the clue could be an anagram. Industrialise could tell you to rearrange 9 letters next to it to give you a word for ghetto. Scheme could be an anagram, telling you that probably ghetto in up has to be an anagram to give you a word for industrialize, but ghetto as an adjective could tell you the 9 letters next to it, maybe in a scheme or a scheme 2, could also become a word for industrialize. Crafty, isn't it? So, how do you even begin? We know this word's going to start with an M, which means that if it's an anagram, the word scheme has to be involved somehow. So, trial and error, can we jumble the 9 letters of a scheme to get a word for ghetto? Or can you think of a 9-letter word for ghetto? The only anagram I could find from those letters was macheteos, which sounds like a dangerous breakfast cereal. Try with a different lot of letters in a scheme. Now, the ISE ending of industrialize might give a hint as to what we're looking for. If we take that out of those letters and rearrange the rest, we can get a word for industrialize, mechanize. And the last anagram, 9 across, fractional causes, dilemma for Dr. Richard Kimball. So from the outset, we've got the word dilemma, which could easily be an anagram. We've got an L and a C in the answer, both letters that we can see in the phrase fractional causes, which has 15 letters in it. So we can be pretty confident that we've got an anagram here. So let's jumble the letters of fractional causes around while we're trying to think of what the definition could be. As long as the reference isn't too dated, you might recognize Dr. Richard Kimball as Harrison Ford's character from The Fugitive. That's the story of a man on the run from the law, and his particular dilemma was a false accusation. Look, if an anagram like that is too long for you, once you've done the human bit of comprehension, just bung it into Internet Anagram Server or something. Let the robots do the grunt work for you. Everything else is automated these days. So that's anagrams. Thanks for watching. I hate doing this bit. If you enjoyed the series, please do share it around. You can follow me on Twitch, see me solve crosswords live there. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, they're the good ones. Like, share, subscribe, donate, give blood, reduce, reuse, recycle, vote green. Bye!